Welcome to Firefly Wrestling. My name is Nick, and I will be your guide for today. Today's a slightly different video than what I normally have been posting. I mean, it's video 4, so it's not like I've really stuck into one thing too much. But, big shouts go to Blanco and Blampied, very much heavily inspired by him and what he's done in the past. I thought I'd put my own little personal spin on it and take a crack at predicting, or more fantasy booking, the men's Royal Rumble this year. This is definitely not a prediction video because WWE ain't doing any of this. But this is what I would do if I was booking WWE. So maybe I'm better than them. I'm not. But there's a chance. So, I hope y'all enjoy. And let's get in to starting off the Royal Rumble. I mean, it's Trick Williams. WWE's new top-built guy. They are putting everything they can into making Trick feel and look like this top star. I actually didn't buy into all the hype for Trick Williams back when he was in NXT or TNA. But since he's debuted on the main roster, I have been so on board with this Trick Williams experiment and everything he's doing. The way they've positioned him next to Sami Zayn has made him look so good. That's not a criticism on Sami Zayn or how Sami Zayn works, because I love Sami, but I just think that contrast has done wonders for his character. Second into the ring, meeting him. I mean, if you're starting with Trick Williams, second up has to be Carmelo Hayes. The Trick Mello gang in the same ring since, I think, that NXT Homecoming show, and then before that, Mello's call-up. First time with Carmelo Hayes as the babyface as well, I think. If the roles reversed from last time, they thought, with Trick being the one who's higher up the card and the heel, I think it's a cool little switch and callback to NXT, and hopefully setting up a US title match at WrestleMania with the third entrant. Setting up my Mania triple threat match for the US title, it's the Mad Dragon Ilya Dragunov. I think Ilya is amazing. He puts on bangers with both these guys. This is like one of my perfect triple threat matches. That's just a dream match. And I think will happen this year at some point. These three are all so amazing and so much fun. I think just letting these three get into the Rumble and just start beating the crap out of each other is a great way to start the Rumble off hot. And because we can't have nice things, we need a Solo Sikoa. I don't think I would have booked him in this Rumble if he wasn't already announced. He's a tag champ. I think he's doing great work this year. Last year, even 2024, I think was a pretty good year for Solo Sikoa. But also, I think he's a tag guy right now. And there are some big names who have missed out on this Rumble. I mean, in kayfabe, do you really want Solo Sikoa over Finn Balor in the Rumble? And I'm very much haven't put people in the Rumble who are injured, who might be making a return, just because the spots are really full, and Solo is kind of one of the guys who's filled these spots. I think Solo can come in and kind of just start wrecking shop a bit. Have Ilya and Solo just get into a fight over who can take more punishment. Probably it's Ilya. But that allows us to get into our fifth entrant, starting a bit more of the storytelling in the match. It's the Yeet Man! Yes, and he can run to the ring and deliver the world's greatest spear to everyone in the ring. And yes, I mean the world's greatest spear. I mean, who can hit a spear while standing up the entire time? That is serious skill. By the way, Braun Breaker, it's Jey Uso's spear to watch. But more seriously, he's declared for the Royal Rumble. It's going to add to the Usos splitting up eventually. I don't know. I don't particularly care for him on what he's going to do. But, he can, I think his spot in the Rumble will be he can go to try like do his like run it back, replay music thing, and then get hit by the trick shot and nearly get eliminated, which would just be hilarious. And maybe he might finally learn to stop running back that song in important moments, like Survivor Series. But that is fine. And continuing with the more comedic segments of this Rumble, because I do think you've got to split it up. You have that first three heavy hitting, then a bit of comedy put in there. We have El Grande Americano, the entrant number 6, and comes out with Bravo and Raya behind him. And all three can start getting in the ring and beat up Mello and Ilya and just kind of slow it down. El Grande can get tossed out on the ring onto Bravo. I mean, we can briefly tease like Tyler Bates' aeroplane spin. Bravo Americano's aeroplane spin. But he gets back in the ring, all safe and sound, ready for the next entrant, El Grande Americano. El Grande Americano number 2 enters this time, but I want to have the old theme song without all the olays in it. So there's a clear difference between like new and old El Grande Americano, but not like super noticeable, other than the fact that this one is ripped to all hell. Because have you seen the pictures? The Los Americanos can kind of like get in the way, but also try to work out, wait, are we following the wrong guy? Wait, which one's the real one? And then I'll just have them both just chain wrestle each other until you can do the spot where it's like, wait, who's who? And just annoy the Los Americanos into just giving up and letting them sort it out. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll just come back and serve whoever wins this match. Whoever does better in the match. That's nice and easy. We even have the commentators like commentators just acting so shocked. They start questioning like, who else could appear tonight? Maybe we could have some returning champs. Maybe even Joe Hendry. Say his name, and he appears. The singing Scott is in the Rumble. I think he could do a spot where he gets like double vision, and then can hit like his version of the Brock Bottom on both of them. I'm not actually sure like what it's called. I think standing ovation. Yeah, hit the standing ovation on both of them. He can stand tall and then get hit by a Samoan spike. I like the idea of we've got Solo standing tall in the ring now. Jey Uso stands to challenge him, and gets just get knocked out with a trick shot right away. And by Jey Uso. First guy eliminated from the Rumble after being last year's winner. I'm sure that can play into the storyline with him being annoyed and losing a bit of self-confidence. I don't think it's a very original storyline or whatever, but it's fine. I don't really care. But also, Triple H can stand there taunting him and get eliminated by Carmelo Hayes. I think that gives a good excuse for him to start targeting Carmelo as he goes towards Mania. Maybe even costing Ilya in the next match as well. The next time we have the Carmelo-Ilya match. And that can all build that big triple threat at Mania between a lot of them. Entrant number 9. Starting, I think, a bit more of a more feud-based and current feud-based section of the Rumble. It's the Maverick. This is by far the earliest Logan Paul's ever entered the Rumble. And I think they need to do this to get over he's not just a part-timer anymore. He can be the division's first representative. There's actually a reason why it's not Austin Theory, which we'll show up a bit later. And he takes it upon himself to kind of set the tempo of the match. Well, tries to. I want him kind of like getting in the ring, going for like a big like back buckshot lariat, and then nearly get eliminated immediately, and learning very quickly to not be doing top rope moves in the Royal Rumble. I also think he should get into like a striking contest with Ilya Dragunov and lose. But in typical crappy heel fashion, he just low blows Ilya and chucks him out. Because why not? And that sounds really funny. Also, can then set up some like Ilya vs Logan Paul things, just like as a bit of a sub feud maybe as a qualifier match for the Elimination Chamber. I think that could be a good use of Ilya Dragunov. Then, to try and conquer the Logan Paul, who's now very confident and very egotistical, we have Dragon Lee. And I think he can come down to the ring with like an AJ Styles style gear, maybe change from the black and red to the blue and black. Just try and pay homage to like what was an amazing tag team between the two of them. Styling Dragons was one of my favorite tag teams. Like, I mean, just banger matches after banger matches. I think in this time you can also have like the El Grande Americanos brawling on the apron, which then allows Joe Hendry to eliminate both of them in one go and save me a slide, which is much appreciated. Entering in number 11 to kind of start just refilling the ring with bodies, we have Division's second entrant into the Royal Rumble, Austin Theory. I think they shouldn't directly call it out, but it should kind of be this vibe of all four members of the Division kind of got their number, and they all kind of swapped it around to give everyone the best position. And somehow, like, Logan and Austin kind of drew straws, and Logan lost. I think they can play into a bit of dissension with the team, but also kind of in that current time show off that they're like a solid unit. I like them being kind of a solid unit for now. I think, yeah, Logan Paul and Austin Theory can kind of go on a dominant run. They're 1/3 of the people in the ring at the time. And I mean, Melo's been in it since number 1, which means I think he would have been in the Rumble for about 18 minutes or so. Philly's been in there for, I think, more than 10. So it's a bit of a good excuse to kind of have Austin and Logan just kind of run the Rumble for a bit, do all their spots, hit all the things. Right until Enter hits the ring. Last year's Iron Man. I mean, such an impressive wrestler. He's also like 40, and like he acts like he's maybe 30. He wrestles way younger than he is, which is really cool. I mean, he has all like the experience and psychology, which he shows off well. But it's the super, super impressive athletics that I just don't think you see from too many of the 40-year-old guys. And especially not to the level that Penta can do these things. I think he's really just in the Rebel to continue that Vision feud, save Dragon Lee, kind of building like a second LWO. I think it's kind of funny that Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro have just been pushed off TV in favor for Penta and Dragon Lee. But it's kind of fair. Penta and Dragon Lee have just been so good. Yeah, I think they can kind of turn the tide. But just as like the next entrant enters, the Vision kind of pops back up and is back on their feet. So we can have Rey Mysterio. Please bring back his old music. I love the Booyaka, but also, Who's That Jumping Up the Sky is the best tag of any wrestler ever. I love that music. Bring it back, please. But I think Rey Mysterio he was clearly hurt in the match on Raw. And I think this kind of gives the perfect excuse for him to kind of be going to the ring and get hit by a sling blade out of nowhere by Finn Balor. So Finn Balor can kind of take this spot in the Rumble. It's very similar to what the Judgment Day did a few years ago, with like Dom coming out with like Rey's mask after Rey was meant to come out, taking away Rey's spot. I'm not sure what Rey's Planet Mania is, because I think you're doing Finn vs Dom. But it could be a good micro feud. In the meantime, maybe he wins the IC title, and then like Finn and Dom is just a blood feud instead. I think that could work. But I do like the idea of Finn winning that IC title at Mania. Maybe with Demon, maybe not. Finn's just really cool. And he can kind of come in, target both heels and faces. Really play that tweener role I think he's going to end up in pretty soon. But the next entrant is, of course, Damian Priest. Coming down to the ring, ready to inflict the punishment onto Finn Balor. I want this to really just foreshadow a rivalry I think is going to happen this year. I feel like the IC title picture this year is going to go from Dom to Finn to Damian, kind of through all the like stages of the Judgment Day a bit. Because Damian, I love him. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. My sibling also is the biggest Damian Priest fan, but just his face run, I think, has kind of run its course now. I think you do have to kind of go back to heel Damian Priest, which is the best version of the ex-Punishment Martinez. And the idea of like this heel Damian Priest beating Finn for the IC title, I think's great. And also a good opponent for maybe Sheamus to win it off in the future, so Sheamus can finally complete that as well. And also, lastly, would also mean Damian and Sheamus would complete the Grand Slam, which is cool for both of them. Entrant number 15, really just the first big hitter of this match. Kind of coming in mostly to neutralize the Vision and Austin and Logan Paul, but also kind of go back to that SummerSlam feud with Solo Sikoa from a few years ago was really good. I know a lot of people didn't really like it, but it built up to Roman's return really well. It was never like a genuine fear of Solo winning the title, but I felt like it was a solid match to have on that SummerSlam card. I think Cody's the first real true contender to win the Rumble to get in the match. I think Cody's a good person to have stand tall and go face to face with Logan Paul and Solo Sikoa. And now the ring's got 10 people in it, seeming very crowded, which is, I think, a really perfect time to start bringing in a Bronson Reed. The Auszilla is ready to go. I think since pinning Roman Reigns, he's definitely kind of taken a step towards the back seat. Especially some other bigger stars, or like future bigger stars, like Bron Breakker. I don't see Bronson Reed ever being a world champion in WWE, but I think he's a great guy to be looking towards that title and always be kind of like in the threat for that title. Like, he's definitely had a bit of a breakout the last couple of years, and hey, there's a world he does become a world champion one day, especially with the Vision kind of doing all their things right now. I also have a lot of big plans in this Rumble as well, because I think this is going to be the perfect time to do that big Bronson Reed thing and see what people respond to it with. The first big thing for him, I think, is hitting a tsunami, flattening, and eliminating Joe Hendry. He's had his time. He's in NXT for now. Might become the NXT champion. I think that's somewhat likely. And Joe Hendry versus Ricky Starks at Mania could be a banger. But with Joe Hendry out of the way, we have the next entrant into the Royal Rumble, going straight after Cody Rhodes. It's the Samoan Werewolf. I don't think Jacob should work anybody else in this match, pretty much, other than Cody. I think the entire match, it should be Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes fighting each other the entire time they're in the match. Spoiler, I don't think either of them win the Rumble, but them two just kind of always being in the corner fighting each other is great, and a bit of just like ongoing storyline between these two just despising each other. And making the 12th person to be in the ring at a single time, which is crazy full, and is the last time it will be this full, I believe. It's the Ruler, Oba Femi. I need everyone's ring to look completely petrified as Oba makes his way through the ring. The Ruler is gigantic and the scariest human being on planet Earth. He is genuinely one of my favorite performers in the company right now. And I think, like, just his first thing is music. Yeeting Logan Paul out of the ring. Just, nope, go, get away. You're done. And then, bye-bye Solo Sikoa. Nope, done, cool. Get all, like, the mid-card fluff out of the ring, quickly. And then kind of the only, like, real relevant elimination, I think, to just Oba Femi and his character is Dragon Lee. They had that amazing NXT North American title match. I think it was matches as well. And yeah, I mean, over eliminating Dragon Lee, I think just makes a lot of sense. It's not going to be the Vision, it should be Obafemi. And then, 19th entrant into the Royal Rumble. It's the Ring General, Gunther. After I'm having him retire AJ Styles, which pains me to say. I love AJ, I want to say for the whole year. But also, man, him having a New Japan run, an AW run, or a TNA run at some time this year would make me so happy. Like, just seeing him have, like, one match against, like, a Kenny Omega this year, or, like, an MJF even, like, any of those guys would be amazing. Frankie Kazarian has to happen. Leon Slater in a one-on-one hopefully might happen, depending on when Leon's contract comes up and he signs with WWE. All would just be genuinely fantastic opportunities for AJ Styles. But nonetheless, this was Gunther's time, having retired Goldberg, Cena, and AJ Styles in the space of 12 months. Terrifying to say. He can kind of go face to face with Obafemi, get across these two being two of the biggest guys company's going to have. Also, kind of perfect time just chuck out more mid-card fluff with Finn Balor and Damian Priest trying to go break up their stare down, have their own kind of stare down just for a couple of seconds before Oba yeets out Damian Priest and Finn Balor is taken out by Gunther. I think the boos from Gunther retiring AJ Styles, plus a lot of good fan sentiment towards Finn Balor, is a little bit of hinting towards Finn Balor and Damian Priest both being eliminated from the match. Which gets us to entrant number 20. 2/3 of the way through the match. The Beast Incarnate is here. And we have some big, meaty men in the ring. We kind of can set up this massive dream brawl between Gunther, Oba, and Brock Lesnar, because all those matches are amazing, and I would be fantasy booking all three of those matches probably within the year. Maybe not Gunther Oba, but if Brock Lesnar is only going till SummerSlam, and good riddance, him vs Oba needs to happen. Him vs Gunther as a retirement match is just perfect. Also think just good time in this is Mello and Penta trying to eliminate Gunther, and Gunther throwing out Mello, and then Penta kind of being taken out by Bronson Reed after the fact. I think, yeah, just narrowing down the ring to some of the biggest names and biggest contenders other than Austin Theory. But also, this means Mello would have lasted 36 minutes in the ring, which is a fairly likely Iron Man performance at the time. The only person I think is even mathematically possible to beat it would be Cody Rhodes or Austin Theory. And the commentators can make a bit of a big deal about that, about how strong Mello was and how long he's lasted, but just not enough. I think my favorite part of the Royal Rumble is this bit. You have Kit Wilson. Yes, I did the arms with it because I love Kit Wilson. And he has to just get in the ring as Cody, Jacob, Gunther, Bronson Reed, Obafemi, and Brock Lesnar are all kind of surrounding the ring, and all kind of just in the corners. And he just has to sit in the middle and start calling all of them toxic. You're toxic, you're toxic, you're toxic. I mean, only Kit Wilson has the confidence and non-toxic masculinity to put himself in harm's way to call out the most dangerous, terrifying people I have ever seen on a TV screen. and call them all toxic. Yeah, he's about to die. I think he is probably going to be eliminated by Brock Lesnar, just throwing him as far as he possibly can, trying to rival Over's throw of Logan Paul earlier in the match. Also, Brock vs. Kit Wilson is a match. WWE, please book it. That sounds so funny. But going back to slightly more serious entrance into the Royal Rumble, it's the Tribal Chief. Put your ones in the air. We now have 8 people in the ring, and 7 of them could main event or would have main evented a WrestleMania. Maybe not Bronson Reed, definitely not Austin Theory, but the other 6, absolutely. And the only ones who haven't are Gunther, Jacob, and Oba, and if they don't, WWE has fumbled them special. Roman can enter the ring hitting a spear or Superman punch on everyone till it's just him and Brock Lesnar standing, and they can go into that brawl. This kind of allows us to refocus this kind of little section to Cody and Jacob, who are kind of outside the ropes on the apron, just still locked purely in on kill that person. I must defeat him. I must eliminate him, and then I can start focusing on winning the Rumble. But this allows you to have this lovely moment of Roman Reigns coming out of nowhere to just Superman punch Cody Rhodes off the ring, out of the Rumble. And I think what would be the first real big surprise elimination. I mean, at elimination number 15, the halfway eliminated man, Cody Rhodes is not what people would be expecting. And him going out early, I think, is a risk, but I think it adds a lot to kind of the story we're going to be telling with him, because I think he then immediately pulls down Jacob Fatu. And those 2 can just brawl to the back. Don't stop fighting. I love these 2. They've got such good chemistry, I think. Other than the hilarious miss on Saturday Night's main event. But Jacob and Cody should just be the Mania match by themselves. They don't need to go for the world title again. Just those 2 in Mania, street fight. I don't care. Book it. Entrant number 23. I think maybe our last kind of non-exciting entrant. But I think if you book it right, he's still amazing fun. It's Shinsuke Nakamura. The King of Strong Style can come down to the ring. And I wanted to tell that story with Gunther. Well, if Gunther retired AJ Styles earlier in the night, so that's who Shinsuke targets. He's already a Royal Rumble winner. I think that adds a bit of credibility, especially going to that final few members in the Rumble. As much as everyone watching won't go, oh, Shinsuke's a credible winner, the commentators can kind of trick you and make you feel like it's maybe a chance. I know when I first started watching old Royal Rumbles, they would hype up people, and I'm like, oh, this man must have been a main eventer. Oh my god. And it turns out they were a lower mid-carder who the commentators were just doing a really good job of making you think were good. But yeah, I digress. Shinsuke Nakamura can kind of come in, start brawling with especially Gunther. Also kind of use this time to get Bronson Reed and Roman going one-on-one. And maybe we can get some Oba and Gunther things going as well. And then to our first real, I think the first real surprise of the night. I think he's going to go straight to NXT. Him and Ricky Saints need to do something. Oh my god, that would be amazing. I want to see that again. I mean, I just want to see them do that callback. Maybe that's also the NXT match, title match at Stand and Deliver. Maybe it's Ricky Saints versus Royce Keys. I could see it. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Doesn't feel as big as last year's main event was, but even so, Royce Keys is amazing. The ex-powerhouse Will Hobbs, if you didn't know from AEW, he can kind of show off his strength. And I think you could do this really funny spot with Oba and Powerhouse Hobbs mimicking that Jade and Bianca spot from, I think, 2024. Holding up Austin Theory and Shinsuke, just showing off their power. And kind of dropping the ring down for our 25th entrant. getting towards the tail end of the match. It's Braun Breaker. I did not do a great Paul Heyman impression there. But spears for everyone. Roman eats a spear, Royce eats a spear, Austin nearly eats a spear, but he stops. Brock Lesnar eats a spear instead. And the Division can take full control of the match and throw out Royce Keys. I think Royce Keys is going to be a great addition to the roster, but yeah, well, he was in the ring for a little bit. He showed off his power, and now he's gone. Moving on to entrant number 26. I didn't change his name. Well, anyone watching this is going to get a bit of a laugh from that. The young OG can kind of come in swinging, taking down all Division with a series of cutters, and standing tall until Obafemi delivers just one of his diving uppercuts and just knocks him straight out. Not out of the ring, but just clearly rocks him. They've got great chemistry. Yvonne always sells perfectly for Obafemi. And I think Obafemi's like going to throw him out, but he does like a Kofi Kingston spot, saves himself from the barricades or whatever. I think he's the right guy to fill that Kofi Kingston void in his Rumbles. Now that they're being far more singles oriented, and even like far more main event oriented. Like, if you can't tell, like, I don't have a guy like Aleister Black or Matt Cardona in here. And I don't also have like any legends in this match yet either, because the talent roster is so stacked right now in WWE. And like they can do I think no wrong with like who's in the Rumble at this point. It's just how much talent is going to be in the ring. The next entrant, the BFT machine, yeah! LA Knight is back. He can drop Austin Theory on his head, drop Gunther on his head, and try to like eliminate Gunther, and they both go spilling over onto the apron. Because LA Knight Gunther, I know like CM Punk Gunther was the right match, SummerSlam. Damn, we should have had LA Knight versus Gunther at some point. Brock Lesnar can kind of show up and try to throw LA Knight out of the ring, but LA Knight drops the rope, and Brock Lesnar goes over and out. The Beast is eliminated by LA Knight. Yeah. And then Gunther can be on the apron, taunting the Beast. I'm not dumb enough to fall for that. But then, out of nowhere, a Kinshasa by Shinsuke Nakamura. Because, I mean, Gunther doesn't have a Mania plan. Like, just realistically, I don't think Gunther has a Mania match. So if we want to do a retirement thing, Gunther retires Shinsuke Nakamura from WWE. His contract's running up. I think it's up end of the year. He's already asked to be released multiple times now, I think. Just send Shinsuke on his way. Let him go back to New Japan, have his final run in New Japan, and then retire and call it a day. But I think Gunther being eliminated by Shinsuke, good bit of payback for taking out the Phenomenal One earlier in the night. As we get to our 28th entrant into the Royal Rumble, it's Leon Slater. I love this kid. Leon Slater, Javon Evans is the future of wrestling. I love them. Come and do all the best high-flying moves, all his crazy flips. Him and Javon Evans can probably do a bunch of combination stuff in order to eliminate Shinsuke Nakamura. That is at the wrong time. Nope, Shinsuke Nakamura gets eliminated later. I am a fool. It's fine. But that's fine. They can both get hit with a spear by Braun Breaker, who eliminates Javon Evans. I don't want Leon Slater to go up for that insane 450 senton he has. But an Obafemi uppercut knocks him off and out. And both my high-flying boys are gone. Shame. But that's fine. They both last to like the final 10 eliminations in the match. Well, it didn't last very long. But Leon Slater's still in TNA. They're not going to book him that strongly. I just have to deal with that for now. Entrant number 29. I don't think he's declared. He's probably going to declare on SmackDown. But it's Randy Orton, and we can set up an RKO party, hitting all the top guys, Roman over LA Knight, and he's the one who throws out Shinsuke Nakamura. I remembered my script. This leaves him kind of just surrounded by the Vision with kind of no one else left. But that's fine. He can take Austin Bronson Reed down for double RKO, but then eats a spear by Braun Breaker. And is thrown to the apron, but veteran instincts and all, survives, holds on, and can even hit like a vintage Orton the other way around to kind of knock Braun Breaker out and chuck him over the top rope as they both are on the apron fighting back and forth, which allows Austin Theory to run in and hit a lariat to knock off Braun Breaker, who gets pulled into the wave by Randy Orton. In kind of Austin's pure shock and terror, only just being added to the Vision and eliminating the guy they all agreed to make win, he can get taken out by Randy Orton, giving Randy Orton that elimination. And then Austin Theory is outside the ring with a very famously calm Braun Breaker, who is reasonably very pissed with Austin Theory, and then cuts him half with a spear. If Braun Breaker sees fit, I think he could probably use a real medieval steel spear, just to get across how incredibly angry he is at Austin Theory. Either way, Austin Theory is knocked 3 feet under, and Braun Breaker turns to walk up the ramp. I'm saying this doesn't lead to Theory being kicked out of the Vision just yet, because Paul Heyman antics and whatever, and he can kind of try and earn his spot back, and they just never really accept him again after his like one honest mistake, which can then also lead to him joining Seth Rollins when Seth Rollins is back from injury, saying he wasn't always going to join Seth Rollins, but the Vision convinced them that he wasn't going to be at home there. I think there's a little good way of having Austin Theory get a bit of a story out of this, and also Austin eliminating Braun Breaker after how he agreed to let Braun Breaker win. Just seemed a bit shady on Raw. So we have entrant number 30 as the clock ticks down. The clock ticks down to 0, and then nothing happens. And then we get a new countdown. The one that always precedes the first ever undisputed world champion. Chris Jericho is back, baby. I think Chris will be a great breath of fresh air in the Rumble. Hopefully get the biggest pop of the night at the last entrant into the match. It might be a bit predictable, but I mean, he's so good. And hey, the fans can always worry that it'll be the random Saudi Arabian guy they signed. But he can make his way to the ring, all hyped up, and then get cut in half by a spear by a really, really pissed off Braun Breaker still. Braun Breaker just throws Chris back into the ring, ready for a Bronson Reed Death Valley driver to be eliminated. Chris Jericho barely lasts in the Royal Rumble. So much as I'll have a long return run, I think it's more important that he sets up a long-term story with someone, and it's Chris Jericho. He's going to want to be attached to the hottest thing in wrestling. And it might not be the Vision right now, but I think he'll be on the side that he can make the Vision into that hot thing in wrestling again, and build that big Mania match in a 3-on-3 with the Vision, of kind of 2 other allies. This leaves us with the final 5. Instead of having a normal final 4, I think a final 5 fits this Rumble a bit better. Bronson Reed, Oba Femi, Roman Reigns, LA Knight, and Randy Orton. I feel like it feels like a very weird crew from Rumbles in the past. We're kind of in this spot at the end of the Rumble. Like, I don't think any of these guys were in the top 4 end of last year. I mean, Overton definitely wasn't. Bronson Reed definitely wasn't. Roman Reigns, I don't think was. Maybe Randy was like the third guy, but I don't think he was either. Like, just this is, I think, a really, really stacked Final 5, and a really like refreshing Final 5 for the Royal Rumble. I think LA Knight gonna go some little spots I want to highlight, like LA Knight going for a BFT, which is reversed into an RKO. Bronson Reed kind of trying to show off his strengths, but being beaten down by 2 people at a time, like Ober and Roman Reigns put together, which just sounds fun. But I think the next 2 people eliminated is LA Knight and Randy Orton with a double clothesline by Ober Femi, taking them both out, leaving only the Tribal Thief, the Tribal Chief, and the Ruler. After a small bit of fighting, I want to see Bronson Reed get landed by like a Superman punch by Roman Reigns. Kind of get back that kind of like half a win after he was pinned by Bronson Reed earlier in the year. Kind of making the record like 1.5 to 1. They absolutely need to have the third match. I think at some point it will happen. I don't know when, but maybe if like Roman wins the title back, Bronson Reed will be a good challenger for that title, saying, well, I'm one of the only people to have ever pinned you since you became the Tribal Chief. Easy, story writes itself. They can have a match, Roman retains. Whatever. Maybe even that's how Bronson Reed wins the title. But we are down to the final 2. And I want Ober to look like he did against Cody Rhodes at Saturday Night's main event. And just kill Roman Reigns. Toss him around the ring. Make him look like a ragdoll almost. Roman Reigns can sell well. Like, let Roman look like the underdog in the match. Make Roman feel like the underdog babyface. Because it'll make that moment when Roman is near the ropes, Ober goes for that clothesline finish, knock him over the ropes out of the ring, and Roman ducks and pulls down the ropes. But Ober doesn't fall for it, like Brock Lesnar did. Ober stops. One punch from Reigns, picks him up, tosses him out. Ober Femi wins the Royal Rumble. I also thought I would go through a quick couple of matches I think have been built up by this match that can kind of be these big WrestleMania clashes. Credit to the Empire Studio for the graphic. Ober Femi vs. Drew McIntyre is just a banger at WrestleMania. Ober wins the title, and so does Bron Breakker against CM Punk. I think this was a really important match to have. I think it's really important both these matches to have it. Just like Cena and Batista did, having Bron Breakker and Ober Femi both win world titles on the same night is perfect. And the longer you can keep them away from each other, the more it's going to matter when those two face in the Mania main event in a few years down the line. Both are stellar. I think some other matches that you can do. LA Knight vs. Brock Lesnar. I mean, LA Knight wins this, by the way. I need to clarify. LA Knight does win this. If LA Knight's not in the world title picture, let's give him something big. And I think Brock Lesnar is the perfect big person for him to have a match against. It can feel like the underdog. It can feel like, of course, Brock's going to win. It's Brock Lesnar, which will make it all the more sweeter when LA Knight gets his win and walks out of WrestleMania having beaten the Beast. Also, this triple threat match, I refuse to believe Roman or Randy Orton would ever agree to doing. But, I mean, like, this, I feel like makes sense with, like, Randy and Roman spending most of the Rumble fighting against the Vision. Maybe even you switch the Randy elimination to be Bronson Reed to kind of get across, like, it's the Vision's fault. And Chris Jericho clearly will be targeting the Vision and try to pick up some big-name friends to work with him. And then maybe the last one, Gunther retiring Shinsuke Nakamura at Mania. Bit of a heartbreak. but I think it will be an amazing match. These two, I think, should be very complementary to each other, and hopefully just, yeah, have a lot of fun and celebrate Shinsuke's final run in the company. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you all so much for watching. It means the world to me. I've really enjoyed making this video. Hopefully I'll do some more of them. Again, shout out to Adam Blompiade. Anyone who's watching me has watched his videos. I'm not trying to insinuate anything else, but he still needs the credit for this. So I'll link him down in the comment. I'll link to him down in the not comments, but description. And all the other resources I used for making the video to get the images and the graphics. But thank you all for watching. YouTuber things, like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Thank you all. Take care. Fyrefly out.